Hey everybody, it is Tuesday night. We're back doing foundations again. Missed last night. I wasn't able to do one last night, but uh, we're going to get started again tonight. Hopefully, pretty soon I'll be able to get my schedule worked out. But anyways, um, Monday nights is sometimes a real hard night for me. I had a lot of homework to do for my college courses, and so I was busy doing that last night and wasn't able to go on here. If you are on here, type on here. I know the Lyerly students, type on the chat if you're in here so I'll know who's here. The Lyerly students are doing a talent show tonight, so a lot of you guys I know aren't going to be on here. But I'm going to go visit some people in the hospital, so I was going to go ahead and knock this out before I go. Some of our members are sick. We need to be in prayer for them. James Hunt's in the hospital again. He's sick, and also Jacob Busby's he's in the hospital. He's not doing well either. He's not feeling good. Possibly going to have some gallbladder surgery pretty soon. But tonight we are in Genesis. Again, we're talking about Jacob. We talked about Jacob and Esau and all his family drama, and then we've also talked about his wives. The last time I did a recording, that's what we were talking about, his wives and disagreements from Leah and Rachel. Excuse me, his two wives. One of them, he got tricked into marrying. He got tricked into marrying Leah, and he wanted Rachel, but he went ahead and worked. He worked 7 years to get the first one, thinking that he was going to get Rachel, and he was given Leah, and then was promised the one that he wanted, Rachel, if he worked another 7 years. So he worked 14 years for Laban, their dad, which is his uncle, in order to get him. Well, we talked about how Jacob got taken advantage of, the same way that he tried to take advantage of his brother and be deceitful towards his brother. He got taken advantage of when he got with Laban, even though he had changed his ways and he decided to follow God, and God had showed himself to him. Laban took advantage of him while he was there, and so he tricked him with the wife situation, and then after a while, he decided to try to take advantage of him in other ways as far as his pay. And I don't think you covered it in your reading when you went over this, but there was a dispute about how he was going to get paid, and Laban was trying to take advantage of him. And so anyhow, every time that Jacob chose to breed a certain breed, so let's say it's spotted, or if it was striped, or whatever color the animal was, if he'd choose that color, Laban would say, okay, I'm going to give you this type of animal for your pay. And what he was thinking was, well, these are the defective ones. There's not going to be that many of them, and so I'm going to win. I'm going to get to keep more of my animals. Jacob's going to be working for me for nearly nothing because I'm going to give him the leftovers, the junk. Well, God wasn't having it. God was going to bless Jacob no matter what Laban was going to do. So it said Laban would give him the striped ones, and guess what? Everything so happened to be all the animals that were starting to get born were being born for stripes. Sorry, I got to move around a little bit. I'm having trouble breathing. Turn the fan on. And so then, so he said, well, since he's getting all stripes, then I'll change it to the spotted ones, and so we'll mix it up, and then that way I can win. So he would change it over, and then what would happen? Well, they would start having whichever one Jacob was given. That's what would be born. So throughout this, excuse me. Laban had to try to do this several times, and Jacob was tired of it. He had a vision from God, and God told him it was time for him to go home. He had ran from his brother. That's how he ended up where he is at. If you remember, his brother Esau wanted to kill him after he cheated him out of his birthright, and so he'd been up here with Laban this whole time, and now it was time for him to go home. God had told him it was time for him to go home, and he wanted to go home. And when he first told Laban that, he found a way to get him to stay a little bit longer. So he stayed a little bit longer, but now the time had finally come, and he had had enough, and so he was ready to go home. So he tells his wife, he tells Rachel and Leah what's going on, that he was ready to leave and that they were going to leave, and they decided that they wanted to go with him. They said, he treats us like a foreigner too. Every time he's tried to take advantage, he's lost money. So all this money that he's lost and all this livestock that he's lost, those were supposed to be ours. That was supposed to be our inheritance that he has messed with and God has taken away from him. So whatever God tells you to do, that's what we want you to do. And so God had told him it was time to go home. So he, instead of just going to Laban again and telling Laban, hey, I'm going to leave, he decides to sneak out, and he's going to sneak back home. And when he does, one of his wives goes into her dad's house and decides she's going to steal his idols. And it doesn't say why she wanted the idols. It could be that it's something that reminds her of her dad when she's going to leave and probably never return. Or it could be that she also worshipped the idols the same as her dad did, and so she wanted to take them to be to worship them. It never does say why she wanted them, but she wanted them. So she stole them, and they took off without telling Laban what was going on or where they were going. So they took off, and Laban finds out. He figures it out 3 days later, chases them down. Takes like 7 days to catch up with them. 7 days away from where they were. He finally catches them, and he was like, Jacob, what are you doing, man? Why are you leaving like this? You try to deceive me. You're trying to sneak out. You're trying to trick me. If you would just told me you wanted to leave, I would have had a big party for you. We would have had music and had a good time, and I would have kissed my grandbabies. But what's wrong with you, man? You want to go this route and leave without telling anybody? Shame on you. And since you've done this, now I have the right to do physical harm to you. Now I can kill you if I want to. I can hurt you, whatever I want to do, I can do. And he says, and you stole my gods. Well, Jacob didn't know anything about his wife taking the gods or taking those idols. So he's like, no, you can search whatever you want. I don't have your idols. I don't have anything from you. He says, as a matter of fact, you've cheated me over and over and over. You've cheated me 10 times already with my pay was raised, and how you decided to pay me, and you're constantly trying to cheat me. So look around. I don't have anything of yours. I'm ready to go home. And so Laban goes through the camp, starts looking. He doesn't find them. Rachel told a lie. She'd been sitting on them. She had them on her donkey and lied to him about it. And so he never found them. But God had told him on his way there. God told Laban, he gave him a vision. He says, you need to be careful what you say to Jacob, whether good or bad. Either way, you need to watch how you handle yourself with him, because he knew God was protecting him. So, and he even told Jacob, he said, the only thing saving you is that your God told me to leave you alone. So they came to an agreement. Laban said, these grandkids, everything is mine. It's not yours. I can keep it all if I want, but I'm old. I can't really take care of them, so I'm going to let you take them, basically. So they came to an agreement. They had a ceremony, raise some, and they put up some boulders. Hey, sorry about that, Stephen. I just saw you. I got to go. Yeah, I just talked to your dad. I realized that you guys are having dinner. I'm froze up for some reason on mine. I'm not sure if you guys are or not. So he leaves, and he's about to go back home. Well, he's scared to death to go back home because the last time he saw his brother had threatened to kill him. That's the reason he left in the first place. But God told him it's time to go home, and I'm sure he was wanting to go home too as well. I'm sure he's homesick. And so he's got to face the fact that he has to go back to his brother and admit to his brother what he did. And so he's scared of it, and the way he does it, he's going to split camp up instead of just completely trusting in God. Really, he's like, well, this is what I'm gonna do. I'll split up half of my camp, And so I'll put one camp over here and one camp on the next. So if my brother comes and he's still mad, he wants to kill everybody, at least some of the people will survive. Not every, he won't kill everybody, and some of them will survive. And so that's what he does. He splits the camp up, and then he sends a team forth to go to Esau to tell Esau that he's coming. But he sends gifts with him. He sends him a bunch of female goats and male goats, and he does this in waves. So what he's hoping for is by the time he gets to it there, that his brother will have all these gifts, and then he'll forget about what he's done, or he'll forgive him. He'll like, oh, Jacob's rich now. Jacob's giving me all this stuff. I'm not mad anymore that he cheated me twice in my life, and then ran off. So he thought he would just buy his way out of it, and so he sent these people ahead in waves, and he was behind him on the way there, and he sent his family on ahead too. Well, that night, before he sets out on his journey, the Bible says that he has a battle with a guy that he wrestles with him all night long. And he tells Jacob to give up, and Jacob won't give up. He says, "No, not until you bless me. When you bless me, then I'll give up." And so this character that he's wrestling with is actually God, but it's God in a physical form. It's not God in his supernatural form that the Bible says no man can look upon him. He was in the form of a man. So he wrestles with Jacob, and Jacob shows that he's not going to give up. And so God reaches over and touches his hip and dislocates his hip. He cripples him. So he goes hobbling off the next morning with a new name, though. Before he blessed him, he renames him. He renames him Israel. So he's no longer Jacob the deceiver. Now he's Israel. And so the nation of Israel is going to come out from that name also, and start a new beginning and a new nation, the chosen people of God. But that's kind of where we are right now. Like I said, he got his name changed. He got his hip hurt, and it says you fought against man and you fought against God, and you haven't given up on either one. So if anybody's still on here, looks like Kimberly, you're still on here. If you wanna post what verse that you had, we'll discuss your verse on here a little bit, and then we'll sign off for the night. Sorry, I got a text I need to respond to. Alright, so Kimberly has for 29 and 30, 1 through 24. If not, I might have to do that tonight. I don't know which one we were doing tonight. 31 through 32 is what we were doing tonight. That's fine. She's not prepared. For any of the others that come on and realize that you haven't done this yet, just go ahead and watch this. Read it if you haven't read it yet. Read chapters 31 and 32. That's what we just talked about, or what I just talked about. So tomorrow we'll be doing Genesis 33 and 35. So read chapters 33 and 35. We won't be on here tomorrow, but we will talk about it Thursday. So if you go ahead, if you do it tomorrow, then you'll be ahead of the game whenever we get to talk about it on Thursday. So, like I said, when we meet again, it will be Genesis 33 and 35. Alright, well, let me get over to my other screen here, my control room, and I'm going to go ahead and end it. Like I said, remember Mr. Hunt in your prayers, and also remember Jacob in your prayers tonight. They're both feeling pretty bad. And let's remember the Chattooga County boys basketball team. They're on the road tonight, and they're going to be playing in a championship game tomorrow. But not the final championship. But anyways, be on prayer, be praying for them while they're on the road, that the Lord keeps them safe. All right, you guys have a nice night, and I'll see you tomorrow.